After the legendary monster gets a feel of just how delicious Makoto's food is, it forms a pact with him to be his family. To do this, the two join heads together, sealing the contract. Shortly after they finish forming the family contract, the Finner asks to be named by Makoto. This surprises him, or since he didn't have any ideas for a suitable name for the beast. After a slight moment of contemplation, he comes up with awful names like Pochi and Hachi, all which Fenrir wastes no time on blotting out of his dislike for them. Makoto's fellow travelers are still hiding behind a rock as they observe the situation. On the other hand, Makoto continues to think of a name and eventually comes up with a Fel, extracting it from his existence as a Fenrir. Hearing this, the Fenrir is pleased and agrees to have Fel as his name from that moment. Continuing on their journey, the people are scared when they see Makoto and his crew. This is because of the large Fenrir now traveling with them. Werner noted this and talked to Makoto about his worries. Apparently, he's worried since they are now approaching the border to the kingdom of Vanan. Then, Makoto seeks to know what exactly is making him worry. He's told that it would definitely be stopped on their arrival at the border. This is due to the fact that they're traveling with a Fenrir, who is known in his history for having the power to destroy a whole country. Werner believes that the kingdom of Venom will not let Makoto in, since he is one of the who is tied by the family contract to the Fenrir. Hearing them say all of this, Makoto is devastated. He is worried about the fact that he had just successfully led his previous kingdom to avoid such problem, but now finds himself in another problem on arrival into this world. Seeing his worries, and Fel urges him not to worry and assures him that will destroy anyone who tries to mess with them. At this moment, their deepest fear comes to light. Fel reminds them it's time to eat. Upon being reminded, Fel shouts for some food from his interdimensional portal. Fortunately, he is able to find some meat that he had kept aside from earlier. However, it isn't enough to feed them all. Just then, Fel informed Makoto about his intention to eat meat. This prompts Makoto to inform him about the shortage of meat, urging him to catch meat for himself if he wants to eat. Without wasting much time, the now hungry Fel returns into the woods in search of a good source of meat. Watching him leave, Werner wonders why Makoto didn't just use the meat he had. However, Makoto reveals the intention to make Fel provide his own food. Hearing him say this, the others are thrilled at the fact that he can now order a Fenrir. While they say this, he becomes uncomfortable and reveals that Fel had only done the family contract with him because he wanted food. Furthermore, he reveals that Fel is a glutton who loves to eat a lot. Shortly after, Fel arrives with a large bird demanding that he prepare the meat quickly. Looking closely, Werner identifies the bird is a rock bird, a B-rank monster. One of them informed the other that the rock bird's claw and beak cost a lot. Meanwhile, due to how large the monster is, Makoto seeks their help in skinning it while they do this to gain the expensive claw and beak. Makoto wishes they do so he can get the meat he needs. Then they're done, Makoto is left with as much meat as he needs. He grills the meat on both sides, removes the excess oil and mixes it with the sauce. Then he's done, he hands them a plate each. After this moment, Fel comes demanding for his share, but Makoto tells him to do patient since he had to do everyone else's portion before doing his. Shortly after, Makoto feeds Fel with as much meat as his stomach can take, and his stomach definitely took most of the rock bird meat. When they're done, they continue on their journey and arrive at the border of the kingdom of Vanan. Using a telescope, Makoto sees a lot of soldiers outside. When he informed the rest, Werner believes that it is so because of Fel. He, however, offers to go to them in order to explain the situation they are in. Furthermore, he urges them to wait behind while he goes. Watching him, Makoto wonders if he is going to be okay. However, he is assured that Werner would be able to sweet-talk them. A few moments later, Makoto and his crew find themselves surrounded by armed soldiers. The captain's soldier seeks to know if Mikoda has really formed a formal contract with the founder, and he replies positively. As much as the captain's shocked, he maintained his calm and openly uttered his disapproval of the Fenrir, which can destroy a country. Mikoda talks to Fel, informing him that the people are only worried that something would happen if they let him in. Asking him openly if he would rampage, in reply, Fel doesn't seem to have an issue with them, but assures them that he wouldn't do anything to them, as long as they do not mean any harm. Hearing him say this makes the captain believe further that Fenrir has now become Mikoda familiar. After a brief moment of contemplation, the captain agrees to let them in, but pleads with Mikoda to keep Fel in control. To further keep Fel in check, Mikoda promises him that there will be not food for him if he causes any problems. Hearing this, Fel reluctantly agrees to do so. Vernon, however, joined his voice with Mikoda in assuring the captain that Fel wouldn't cause any trouble, because especially since he didn't do anything bad on their way to the kingdom. Having been allowed to enter the kingdom, they are asked for their guild cards at the gates. Unfortunately, Mikoda knows nothing about this. It sounds so new to him, and since he has no guild card, he asked to pay 5 silver coins for him and 2 silver coins for his family. Meanwhile, when they finally gain entrance into the kingdom, they are all excited. Mikoda, on their other hand, is thankful for them for traveling with him. However, Vernon believes he wouldn't get busy from now on, since the stories of the Fenrir and his master would spread and get the ears of the marquis of the area, and even the king. The man thought of his bother at Mikoda, but he's relieved after remembering that he doesn't plan to stay in the kingdom for too long. Instead, he tends to travel around the making profits using online grocery. To achieve his aim, Vernon suggests that he join either the Adventurers Guild or the Merchant Guild. Hearing this, Mikoda immediately believed that joining the Merchant Guild would be the best for him, since he sees himself running a food stand and selling the new products. His friends, however, wondered how he intends to skin the meat for Fel if he joined the Merchant Guild. Fortunately, he is told that the Adventure Guild can skin and purchase the remains of animals from him, with the two guys being so beneficial to him. Mikoda is left troubled as to which one to join. Just then, he is informed that he joined both of them if he isn't sure. However, they convince him to decide. After they reach the town, just before entering the town, Mikoda is asked to pay some coins, and he causes him to lament, mostly because he is now running out of coins. On the entering the town, there met the Marquis servant, who informed Mikoda that his master wants him to visit this residence. Upon receiving this information, Mikoda doesn't seem interested but doesn't openly state it. When the servant insists, he states the mere man like him shouldn't be meeting with a horrible man. But the servant continues to convince him. When Fel sees how uncomfortable the situation is getting for Mikoda, he steps in and pushes the servant into leaving him alone and running out of his master. Seeing him run away, Mikoda felt it's too much, but Fel assured him that is only one way people like them can understand. Seeing what's just happening, Werner wonders it's okay to deny Marquis' innovation, but Fel shows that he's ready to make anything being thrown at them. Shortly after, Vernon demands Mikoda's signature. They get the point, therewith forced to part ways. After seeing, Mikoda says goodbye to his traveling buddies, with a Fel left them. Mikoda heads to the Merchant Guild. On the way there, the people are terrified to see a Fenrir, and either exhibit shock to hide in fear. Then Mikoda gets to the Merchant Guild. They are thrilled to see the Fenrir behind him. He's met a beautiful lady who gives him a brief explanation of what the Merchant Guild is and future state that is divided into 5 levels. To begin, the lady advises him to be at the iron rank and offers him a guild card to complete the membership. Before leaving, Mikoda asks to know if his guild can purchase anything. In reply, he is assured that they do. and this prompts his to promise to bring his goods when the next he comes. Later in the day, Mikoto leads Phil to a shed where he can sleep, since he isn't allowed to sleep in the inns. While Phil has no issue with the sleeping there, he reminds Mikoto about the fact that they have not had a lunch. When Mikoto remembers this, he decided that they will have an early dinner instead. For dinner, he prepares a large chunk of meat for Phil. While cutting, his cravings for rice are high-tended and he decided to cook that for himself. While frying the meat, Phil hungry lurks around. When he's gone, he's used different sauces to spice up the meat in order to make it more tasty. As much as Phil loves all the sauces, he chooses to stick with the garlic flour sauce. Meanwhile, Mikoto's rice is ready and he spices it up with some stick and sauce. Seeing how Mikoto eats his food, Phil demands some after eating, and while tidying up, Mikoto is thankful to online grocery. Later in the night, Mikoto retires to his room and he's placed to sleep on the bed after a long time traveling. The next day, Mikoto heads once again to Merchant Guild. This time he goes there with some goods to be sold, handing into the lady. When she sees it, she immediately runs in to meet her master. Shortly after, Mikoto is led to meet him. Just then, the head of the Merchant Guild offers the player Mikoto 14 gold coins for them. This surprises Mikoto, who had bought them for just 5 copper coins. While he's still processing the shock, the man continues to increase his bid up until 17 gold coins. At this point, Mikoto is forced to stop him, and the two reach an agreement. With the money Mikoto had made from the sales, he realizes that he doesn't have to worry about money for a while. Before heading home, Mikoto remembers to head to Adventurers Guild. Getting there, he received a rather cold treatment compared to the which he received at the Merchant Guild. This he attributed to a fact that he had come without Phil. He is given a form to fill and little to no information about that the guild entails. When he is asked to sort out for a G rank missions and work his way up to A rank, which is the highest rank for adventure. Later that day, while looking at task for a G rank adventure, Phil comes to remind Mikoto of the fact that he is hungry, and the latter wasted no time in cooking for his family.